I'm Prophet,
I'm Hunter Monk.
and we are in Austin, Texas to talk about Laso Finance and its upcoming raise on MetaDAO. So first off, would love to hear more about who is Hunter? What have you done previously? Kind of what's your background?
I've been running Laso for the past 3 years. And we sell prepaid cards to crypto consumers without an ID upload required. Before Laso, I was working at Meta in the virtual reality labs, which is like the physical devices, and then working on the AI voice communication, like, hey Portal, hey Oculus, hey Meta, do this thing. Left there in 2021 and built a couple different little crypto projects and built LibreX, which was an instant off-ramp service for United States citizens, and sold that last year. And then started building Laso after that.
Got it. And what was your motivation for starting Laso?
Yeah, I actually started it almost 5 or 6 years ago when there really wasn't any crypto card options. Like maybe it was just crypto.com. That was really the only way that you could spend crypto. Otherwise, you were just sending it to your exchange and then to your bank and then paying off your credit card. So I built an earlier version under a different name. It was on Lightning, non-custodial, and with no ID upload required. The user experience on Lightning there was like very, very technical and it didn't really resonate. What really resonated was like that privacy enhancing signup process, which is what we have now. So just kind of doubled down on that. And now it enables people to spend privately, which is important.
Well, yeah, tell me a little bit more about the current business, like who your customers are, how you make money.
On Lasso, you just connect your wallet, sign it on, and you're signed up. That's it. It's like the lowest friction user experience you can have. And you can send in USDC or Tether and get a prepaid card and spend immediately, essentially at the speed of on-chain transactions. You can get prepaid cards to spend anywhere online or Apple Pay and Google Pay in person. You can also get gift cards and then also do bank transfers to a debit card. We're selling to kind of crypto consumers that really get the purpose of crypto at a really high level, and especially the importance of privacy at the point of spend. So tend to be individuals that tend to be OGs and really are idealistic. They've read the Bitcoin white paper. They understand why Satoshi's doing this, which is really kind of a fulfilling part of the process, is being able to support like people that are so ideologically aligned.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 30 days, we've had $752,000 of deposits, representing about $35,000 of revenue and around 28.89% month-over-month growth. So it's really resonating with people. And majority of those users are coming from referrals, which is really cool. It's like the best source to have, referral source to have.
Mm-hmm. Have you run any paid acquisition before?
We started some this year at a really a small, couple $100 a month. What's having a good LTV to CAC ratio is on Google PPC and on Twitter ads or X ads to a lesser extent. That is something that I'm really excited to execute on because it's just been referrals for the past essentially 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And then this is also something I think the listeners will be interested in knowing. Who is Laso Finance today? Like, how many people are working on it?
It's a solo founder project. Yeah. It's just me. We have one agent in the Philippines, and so part of this raise will be kind of scaling up on that side, which I'm really, really excited about. I have a longtime user that's been with me for essentially the entire past 3 years. Is phenomenal on the marketing user experience side and did a great job at that at Exodus, a wallet, and we'll be able to have him scale up the customer service side to be 24 hours and not just 8 hours plus my time.
And yeah, when we evaluate companies, like who we decide to work with, our evaluation is driven by like what can go wrong and what can go right. Like what does this business look like if it goes well? And then what are the risk factors? I think starting with what can go right, I think for me, it was also particularly on the like AI commerce side. So would love to hear you unpack like, I don't know, Laso is multi-billion-dollar business. What could have happened to bring it there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On those volume and revenue numbers I just talked about for the last 30 days, around 96% of that is humans, like just what I described. You log into the website, connect your MetaMask or Phantom or whatever wallet is, and get your cards. A small growing group of users is on the agentic side. So 4% of the volume is AI agents, which is a really exciting part of the process, because there's not this ID upload, liveness check required, and an AI agent can go and get its own Lasso card with a single prompt. Like, it doesn't need a human in the loop, and that is a really exciting use case. So currently today, your OpenClaw agent can go and get a prepaid card, gift card, it could do bank transfers, and that is starting to build all the tooling around AI agents to be able to fully participate in the internet economy. Like what everybody's really excited about for the TAM on agentic commerce. Of course, there's fun use cases, such as having my agent, plan a really well-executed logistical trip to Europe. Why the TAM is so large for agentic commerce is creating the ability for these agents to be their own economic unit, run their own businesses, be their own revenue generator, and ideally a profit generator. And to do that, they need to have all of the financial tools that humans use to be able to participate in the economy. So right now, your agent can, to be able to execute on some business objective, can use a Lasso card to go register a domain, buy hosting. Maybe some suppliers have X-Pro 2 enabled, right? But the vast majority of purchases don't.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do that today. And as part of this raise, we're going to fill out all that tooling. Then your agent will be able to have its own bank account that it can control to send and receive funds on the fiat world that's necessary. Add a loadable credit card bin. It has greater financial control there. Some of those will require a more enhanced KYC process for the owner, but we have this kind of nice leg up where your agent can go do a bunch of it on its own and then reach out to you when it wants to make an optional upgrade.
Got it. Well, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of people building in the agentic commerce space, especially in crypto. And a lot of it's been abstract. So I kind of want to make things concrete of what resonated for me, which is, so one of the businesses that we want to fund on MetaDAO is a Hot Wheels gacha machine. There's been all these Pokemon gacha machines that have started working and generating revenue. And Hot Wheels is a second in terms of the primary market share, and they just there's grading and whatnot, but there's just not a real strong secondary market. And we think there's potentially opportunity there.
Second to Pokemon being the number one primary market of collectibles.
I believe so, yes.
And then Hot Wheels is number 2.
This is my understanding, yes.
Okay.
I forget what the category was, whether it was collectibles or a specific kind of collectibles.
Toy collectibles.
Yeah, could be. Imagine someone wants to build this business with AI, right? They could do it with Pulsia, maybe they could do it with their own model, just out of their terminal. I mean, one of the parts of, to build this business, you basically just got to acquire a bunch of inventory. You got to go buy Hot Wheels, and then you have to run paid ads. And you got to build the site, obviously, as well. But that's kind of the solved problem. For buying the Hot Wheels, I guess there's a few ways that you could do that today. And I think it'd be interesting to compare Lasso to your other options. So my understanding, and I'd like to hear your take on this as well, is basically, so I could just give the model my credit. Well, I could just do it myself, right? I could just not use AI and buy all the Hot Wheels myself. But then obviously if there's something that comes online on eBay when I'm sleeping, I want the agent to be able to snipe that and get good value. And maybe I just don't, obviously I've got to spend all this time doing that. So it'd be nice to have AI.
Right.
So the other option is I could have an agent do it and give it my credit card. But then I have the risk of
10,000 Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it spends agents are still developing, and it could spend too much money. And then maybe I could do chargebacks, right? Credit cards do have chargebacks, but then I might get banned from eBay. Could be quite a pain in the butt.
This is a great example.
Yes. There are tokenization platforms, Marqeta is an example, that normally service platforms. So they work with at least they used to work with Uber Eats, where Uber Eats, they wanted to give only a certain amount of money to delivery drivers. They could buy your Shake Shack and then, but they wouldn't spend $500.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But then Marqeta and these tokenization platforms, my understanding is you got to spend a lot of money to get set up, and they have a lengthy process, and maybe there are some smaller players, but with them you've got to go through this onboarding process.
Yeah.
Versus my understanding with Lasso is today I can already just send stablecoins to this and basically just be hey, we're topping this up every day, and you're only going to get $200 to spend.
Yep.
And I don't have to onboard like I would to a bank. the framing that you see it is just like, I want to do this really fast, or I want to do this, and like this is the lowest friction way for me today.
Yeah, I think that's a great example. I think it's a really great example because you do need Lasso in the loop for that process. It is sort of a weirdly specific niche enough that you've thought about it, but you haven't done the work to go and build this thing, because it's this kind of, you don't really know if it's a small market or not, and then you kind of elucidated the issues with giving your own credit card. And to build on that, what is exciting is you've already identified this Hot Wheels market. What an agent will probably do a better job, at least a faster job than you or I could do, is like identifying what are the Hot Wheels is the second market, what's the third market, what are the specific triggers or ads or calls to actions that work for consumers for the third largest market, and be able to go down that route, and spinning out each of those projects on your own, going through and buying all the tools on your own, getting your own credit card for each of those agents for markets 3 through 20 on your own is not feasible. And something you can do with Lasso is it's sort of adding a sort of how X402 enabled those crypto payments to be much more frictionless. Lasso cards can do that for agentic side on typical payment rails.
Right. And yeah, I think it is useful to contrast it to X402, because X402 is like this basically with no adoption, right? Like there's no merchants who, I mean, there are some, but there's a very small subset of merchants who do accept X402, versus prepaid card. That's not like 100% of the merchants will accept a prepaid card, but it's a pretty high percentage. And so I'm getting a lot of the benefits of X402, which is like I don't have to upload my ID or go through this onboarding process, but I'm also getting access to a very large percentage of like the market of things that I could want to buy from.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. And as part of this raise, we'll be building those remaining tools like we talked about, so that your agent does have that full suite that's possible. And agent can sort of onboard itself into Lasso, and then when you need that enhanced KYC for the other products, maybe where prepaid isn't able to execute, which is a very small number of use cases, then you have that option to do that. The agentic commerce market is really early. Like in the crossing the chasm, we are still in that 1% tinkerer phase. So the volume that we're seeing on there are some business use cases. Some of the use cases are just order snacks for the office or a flight or whatever. We're early there. We want to have the breadth of all the possibilities that an agent can do and be ready as those verticals kind of catch on.
Mm-hmm. And also, to be clear for the listener, what you're saying is like, today, people can only buy Lasso cards with stablecoins, but
Correct.
With the funds you raise, you want to be able to offer so that someone can buy with like a credit card or Apple Pay or whatnot.
Yeah, it's a good point. Your agent will have all those tools. And then at that point, also on the agentic side, you don't have to be onboarding with crypto. It is kind of the most agentic native form of payment, but you don't have to. And so also adding on ACH Wire, SEPA Instant, those kind of bank transfer ins like on-ramp will be part of the build out.
Makes sense. Cool. Let's flip to the other side of the coin, which is like what could go wrong or risks around the business.
The reason Lasso can operate on this in this structure is it works under the same regulatory structure as when you go to Target and buy a Visa gift card with cash. Right? That's a no KYC transaction, and that's been operating for a long time, and it's we have great limits there. You can get up to $1,000 on the card. You can use it for pretty much any consumer discretionary purchase. It is a limited structure that we're working under, and those rules can change. Issuing banks can decide this is too high of risk. Of course, that's discretionary on their part. That is a risk on the kind of 96% of the volume business. On the agentic side, we are super early. Most of the use cases right now are the buying snacks for the office, which it's not any faster than a human doing it. Like it's our consumer purchasing user experience flows are pretty good. And so it may turn out that agentic commerce is not a real thing.
Right.
And Jeff Bezos talks about Amazon and he says, okay, I try to think about instead of what will be true in the future, he thinks about like what will not be true. I'm probably butchering the quote here, but he's like, there's no way in 10 years people are going to say, I don't want things cheaper. I don't want things to be delivered to my house faster. Those are always going to be true, right. And building for that. And so the kind of the way I think about the agentic commerce is like, is it possible that in I'm being really safe here. Like 3 years from now, that agent commerce is not going to be a big part of the market. Like agents are not going to be making a significant amount of purchases on the internet. It just seems totally implausible to me. It just remains to be seen through what mechanism they're doing that. How much are they autonomous? How much are they essentially enhancing execution of a human?
Or does agentic commerce just look like it does today, where I search something in ChatGPT and then it tells me what to buy on Amazon?
Right. And then one of the risks there is kind of what we're betting on is enabling the agent to make decisions on its own, being able to define some business objective, use Lasso cards to be able to achieve those objectives without a human in the loop. So the important part is the lack of friction for the agent and executing on that. So and it may turn out that signing up my agent to work with Stripe, where I can, I'm fully verified. I kind of have let my agent know about that integration, and I can do the spending controls there. That's another risk that maybe that is fine. Lasso's bet is that this sort of permissionless route for the agent to be able to do its own financial issuance is what will win.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that pretty much covers the business. Thanks for providing an overview of Lasso. And one last question, like to end on a less serious note, is what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm going to go really OG with Rocky Road. I'm a big texture kind of person.
From any particular brand or just like the generic?
Oh, I was thinking generic. If I had to pick a particular brand, what's the one that's not even Rocky Road, is it? What's the one that's a cone at the top is a little chocolate ball with like nuts on it? Drumstick.
Yes, drumsticks.
That's not
right.
even Rocky Road at all.
No, it's not Rocky Road.
I contain multitudes.
Okay. Well, appreciate you coming on. And thanks for raising on the DAO.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers.